Hey folks, summer's coming to an end, leaves are starting to fall, you're probably getting ready to cover the pool or put away that outdoor furniture, but while Mother Nature is doing her thing, you can do your thing to clean up your affairs for fall by bundling your home and auto insurance with Policy Genius. Policy Genius saves their customers an average of $1,250 a year. Policy Genius makes it easy to compare home and auto insurance rates all in one place. They can help you get similar or identical coverage to what you have right now, but for less money. What's not to like about that? Getting started is super easy. All you got to do is go to policygenius.com/thesmokingtire. You answer a few quick questions about yourself and your property, be it homes or cars or commercial buildings, and they take it from there. They shop your property quote everywhere from Allstate to Progressive and everything in between. And ultimately, you might find out that you can save a ton of money for the same coverage you've already got. The Policy Genius team will find ways to save you even more money, sometimes even bundling your home and auto policies together. It all happens behind the scenes, and then they spit that savings out right back to you. If Policy Genius finds a plan that's better than what you're paying right now, they will get you switched over for free. So head over to policygenius.com/thesmokingtire to get started right now. Because at Policy Genius, it's nice to get it right. Hey folks, welcome to the mountains. Man, it's a nice day for a drive up here. Haven't seen a single car in about 20 minutes. We got the road to ourselves, it seems. We are the early birds.
Yes, we are.
We are the early birds with a very green worm. This is the 2022 Porsche Macan GTS. It represents the whole line, at least for right now, because the whole line has been updated with some updated powertrains and options, and etc. The GTS has replaced the turbo. So there's no more Macan Turbo. That's gone. And now the GTS is the highest performing variant. That doesn't mean it's slower. It gets the turbo's engine.
Yes, absolutely.
It has a 2.9 liter twin turbo V6 making 434 horsepower from 5,600 to 6,500 RPM and 406 pound-feet of torque from 1,900 to 5,600 RPM, meaning your power band is 4,500 RPM wide. That's very good.
Yeah.
Especially because you've got 4,400 pounds to move around. All new Macans for 22 get updated front and rear fascias with body-colored trim, LED headlights, the sport design mirrors, 7 new wheel designs from 19 to 21 inches. The GTS visually gets RS Spider wheels. That means they look like the GT4 and like the GT3 wheels. Sport side skirts, the GTS lettering on the side, LED taillights, standard sport exhaust with the black tips. That's usually how you identify a GTS, the black exhaust tips. 0 to 60, 4.1. The quarter mile in 12.7. Top speed, 169 miles an hour. For a crossover, those are numbers that, like, you know what?
Crazy.
E92 M3 pretty much is running those kind of numbers. This version, I mean, literally this car we're driving is a German spec car, which means it has ceramic brakes and these wonderful convex side mirrors, which we will not get in the U.S. In the U.S., GTSs will get these surface-coated brakes, better known as the white brakes from Porsche, but because of the GTS, the calipers will be painted red. So they're the white brakes, but red.
White brakes with red calipers.
Right. It has adaptive air suspension, new strut mounts, bump stops, and recalibrated dampers. This one also has the GTS Sport Pack, which in the land of Porsche options, this is a big one, but you want it, right? So the GTS Sport Pack comes with some cosmetic options, but also Porsche Torque Vectoring Plus, Sport Chrono, black wheels, adapt 18-way sports seats, heated steering wheel in race text with the trim in the carbon fiber. That's awesome. Rest of interior trim in carbon fiber, illuminated door sills, etc., etc. The only real mechanical thing there is Porsche Torque Vectoring Plus.
Yeah.
But still, that package kind of makes the GTS, right?
And it's what, 12 grand?
It's 12 grand. Now, the GTS starts at $79,900. $12 grand. You're looking at basically low 90s with some other options. This one, because it's got a bunch of stuff on it,
Right.
is $104,000.
Because this has things like the heated wheel, right?
Well, it also has a bunch of like lane change assist,
Surround
self-steering park assist, thermally insulated glass. It has laminated glass. Some of this
seats, smartphone, yeah.
So some of this stuff you don't need, right? But the last Macan Turbo with performance pack I drove was $111,000. So it's still cheaper than that. Although, you know, 6 figures for a Macan does seem like a lot.
It does, but the X3 Comp we drove was like 100, right?
With it was
everything?
90s, in the 90s.
In the 90s,
Yeah,
I mean, I
X3
think
Comp, yeah.
top performance from a top brand
Right.
of a crossover, that's what you're spending.
Right.
Although I think the GLC is a little less, but we can talk about that.
So you've got all your normal Porsche drive modes, Sport, Sport Plus. I'm going to do Sport Plus with the normal shock. That's
Yes.
how I like to drive. And normally for safety, we would go down the hill for cyclists. But because we know there are no cyclists, because we've been here for half an hour, we're going to start by going up the hill. They also moved manual from
Yeah.
the lever to the steering wheel, and it bugged me out because it took me 20 minutes to find it. All right, let's see what she do. The thing that I have always loved about the Macan is the composure. We're getting the little things flopping around because we have so much grip. For the first time, also, the Macan GTS has Pirelli Corsa tires, a summer tire.
This is, I mean, yeah, I'm right seat, but it feels crazy sticky.
Lots of
turning
grip.
very flat.
Lots of grip.
Very little lean.
Does not shift up when you bang red line.
These are so impressive. So impressive.
We'll do a couple corners and then we'll go back downhill because the fast section is down there. But in the tight stuff, oh yes.
Very agile feeling car.
The ride is really good too.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna flip around here.
On the way up, I was expecting it to be, you know, a little too stiff because it's the sporty one.
Mm-hmm.
But on the highway and all the expansion joints and everything, like, it really just muted that stuff. Did
Pretty
a
good
job.
turning radius. Should we, when we get to a straightaway, well, we'll let you do the launch at the bottom of the hill.
Okay.
Interestingly, I think the least exciting part of this car is the engine. And I say that because as the top available trim, a twin-turbo V6 may be effective, but it's not particularly exciting compared to, let's say, the X3M Comp's slick inline 6 or the
GLC has a
Mercedes
4-liter V8.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you going to beat that in this class? And you know, this is the top spec of the Macan, but the top spec of other Porsche models have very interesting engines. You know, the GTs have their NA engines, or you get twin turbo V8s. So this one just kind of, you know.
What this has is gearbox. It's a 7-speed PDK, which in this day and age, that PDK gearbox really helps a Porsche be a Porsche as opposed to an Audi, right?
Right.
And this composure, right? This level of performance, but without being super, super stiff. The X3 Comp is super, super stiff.
Yes.
Right? The whoa, a little cross the double yellow there, Dodge Ram. The Mercedes has the two different modes, and one is a little too soft and one is a little too stiff. This is the Goldilocks one, where the tuning is just right.
You could just feel right back there a little. It didn't step out of the back, but it wanted to.
The level of grip, right, combined with the ride quality is extraordinary. The turn-in, delightful.
Really, really impressive. Did they change the alignment on this at all from the previous cars, or just
Don't know.
all the suspension? Okay.
It's got a bunch of little suspension changes. This thing must have a more aggressive alignment.
Now, do you remember the last Macan Turbo S you drove?
Yeah, it was great.
Was it great like this? Like
This
did you
feels
feel markedly different?
like the handling is even better.
Wow.
This is even
Okay.
better. Yeah. This feels like I drove that Cayenne Turbo GT.
Yes.
This is kind of like that level of handling. It doesn't. I don't think it has an alignment like that. That was very aggressive.
Yeah, you could see that from the outside.
But I mean the pace. The pace.
Wow. Wow.
And yes, this has ceramic brakes, but I'm not leaning into them. I'm really momentuming the corners here.
Yeah, the nose really tucks in around some of these corners.
This thing is so fast. I'm not going to jump the jump. We'll be careful on the jump.
Let's protect those new bump stops.
Yeah, 0G. The turn in and the composure at the mid corner, that's where this thing is really a rock star. It's also got this Porsche designed steering wheel, which comes out of the 911. Carbon, smaller, love it.
Seats are great. The seat is very, very good. This is one of the best chairs I've sat in, I think, in the last 6 months, honestly.
Very good seat.
It really is. But
yeah.
the way it's shaped, foam, everything.
This thing is the gold standard for a reason. I mean, it's such a well-rounded, balanced package. And we'll flip around Z here, and Zachary will demonstrate the launch control going back up the hill, where we will have more fun times.
Alphams. All right. So we
How about Python green steering wheel?
Oh,
that's what's up.
I mean, if Kermit made all his money at Sesame Street, this is what
good.
he'd rock.
Yeah. And actually, if I read the press release correctly, all GTSs get Python green stitching, no matter what color you get on the outside.
Really?
That's what this implied.
So if you get like a yellow car,
that's what this implied.
If
If I read this correctly,
maybe it's just color matching stitching.
Interior.
With
It says included with GTS Sport Package, so it doesn't indicate if the deviated stitching comes in the matching exterior color or if it's always Python green.
Right. I would hope.
I would hope
that
too.
It matches the
I would hope
exterior.
too, but the press release was, which I also read, and the whole presentation I read, and that was also unclear. So you might end up getting a blue Macan with Python green stitching.
That would be interesting. Okay, manual mode activated.
Are you gonna do a
launch?
Yeah. All you have to do is put in Sport Plus, and then left foot brake, right foot gas. But I would do.
D.
Huh? Yeah, and drive. Yeah.
Yes. Launch control. Ooh,
really?
I like how it squats back.
It really
lifts the
squatted,
nose.
didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
So this does 0 to 60. It's like 0.1 seconds behind a C7 Corvette Grand Sport.
Yeah.
And it runs the quarter nearly as quickly. Which, can you imagine you just pull up with, 4 friends, granted with the extra weight it's going to be a little bit slower, but like, that is so fast for a crossover.
And that's not even the best thing it does.
No, not at all.
That's like the second best thing it does.
Yeah, this is the best thing it does.
If you see me in one of these in the canyons and you have a fast car, you're going to have to work very, very hard to get away from me. I can drive this car really fast.
Well, because this feels like a fast car. We're sitting a little bit higher, but it doesn't feel like that compromised of a vehicle. A little bit of lean, but wow, the steering race
isn't that fast?
Yeah,
and the air suspension does have an off-road mode, so if you need to drive through, snow or whatnot up a trail, you could, I guess. That's not really what this is for.
No, it's for this. This is for this. This is it's like a mini Panamera. That's what this feels like.
Yeah. And when something handles this well, what is the argument for a sedan? You know what I mean? When you've got something that drives like this and has a nice hatchback, nice roomy back seat, a good greenhouse, what is the argument for going crossover?
I hate that I can't rebut that because it goes against a lot of the fibers of my being.
Like, this car basically goes as fast as we could think, right? I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, I think it'd be hard to compare to a sedan because Porsche doesn't make a sedan that's this size. The Panamera is a lot larger. I mean, yeah, it really hides the high center of gravity really pretty well. I just feel like I'm sitting, a little bit taller. I mean, it's just a fast sedan with a lift kit, or a wagon with a lift kit, really. This is so nimble.
So nice.
This is
so nice.
Jeez, it kind of reminds me of Mini Coopers, like the 4-door.
How about that? Crossover that reminds you of a Mini. Little
Front end
squeal
grip
there,
is
yeah.
really impressive.
They must have 1.5 degrees of negative camber or something, right? They must.
Yeah, there's It's not quite as sharp as the Cayenne we drove.
Yeah, the GT was ridiculous.
It's not quite as sharp, but it's very close. And that was $185,000.
And that thing had tires that wouldn't pick up dirt on the outside 2 inches. That's how much camber.
That's a good point. This is a very impressive car. I mean, the Macan always has been. I just like the packaging. I like the size of it. It feels big inside, but easy to park, easy to maneuver around.
Yeah, like if I put that driver's seat all the way back, my legs are fully stretched out. Like I'm straight leg, barely reach the steering wheel. So it's actually a very good option for tall drivers as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, Zach must have been going good because my seatbelt is cinched.
It's the preloaded thing.
The preload.
And if you sit behind me, like I can sit behind myself.
I'll go back there. I'll go back there right now. Yeah, stay where you're at. I'll go back there.
I'm gonna drive away now.
Now, for the record, there is gravel on all of the tire.
Because they are very sticky.
They're very sticky. Oh, yeah, dude. Did you move it all?
No.
Oh no, we're good. I could be back here for a minute.
Wow.
Yeah, I got headroom back here.
I mean, I could road trip like this in this position.
I got heated seats back here. I got my own climate control, dual USB-Cs. This is good.
This also makes me think, how many people need a Cayenne over the Macan?
Most don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Honestly, most don't, and I don't really know why most people get the Cayenne over the Macan. I tried to talk my dad into a Macan instead of a Cayenne, and he kind of poo-pooed it because he's 6'5" and he thought that there's more room, but there really isn't in the driver's seat. This thing is the jam.
This is really a very impressive car.
And it's like, $100,000 for a Macan seems like a lot, but like, look what we just did. Like it drives like $100,000 sports car.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
Yeah.
And if you want a cheaper one, you can get one with the 2-liter, which still makes a pretty substantial amount of power given what it is, or the S. But, the top dollar one is worth the top dollar.
This is the jam. Yeah. Love it. Thank you to Porsche for giving us 24 hours in this German spec vehicle to have a go. Thanks to you guys for watching. See you later. And remember, always fight your tickets. Use code TST10 on the Off the Record app available in the Android and iOS store, or go to offtherecord.com/TST.